Top 10 hurricane-prone towns in Florida and 5 ways to protect your family. Think you're safe? You might want to think again. Florida's hurricanes aren't just hitting the coastline, they're tearing through towns you'd never expect. Stay with us as we reveal the top 10 hurricane-prone towns that could be the next target, and the 5 crucial ways to protect yourself and your family before the next storm strikes. Your safety depends on it. With storms becoming more frequent and intense, could your town be next? We'll break down which Florida towns are most at risk and the steps you need to take to protect your home, your loved ones, and your life. Stay tuned. You can't afford to miss this. Hi friends, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss vital updates on how to keep you and your family safe. We bring you everything you need to know about staying prepared and surviving life's unexpected challenges. So, if you find this video helpful, give us a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Florida is one of the most hurricane-prone states in the U.S., but not all areas face the same risk. Hurricanes can strike without warning, and while some towns are built to withstand them, others are living on borrowed time. Today, we're going to uncover the top 10 towns in Florida that are most vulnerable to hurricanes. But this isn't just a list. We're also going to share the 5 critical steps you must take to protect yourself and your family. Let's get into it. Starting with the 10 towns most at risk for hurricane devastation: Key West. Key West may look like a tropical paradise, but it's sitting on a ticking time bomb. Nestled at the southernmost tip of Florida, this island is frequently in the crosshairs of hurricanes charging in from the Caribbean. With limited evacuation routes and its isolated location, residents are often forced to hunker down and ride out the storm. Recent hurricanes have shown just how vulnerable this popular tourist destination is to catastrophic damage, with flooding and storm surges submerging entire neighborhoods. Key West isn't just vulnerable, it's at extreme risk every hurricane season. Miami. As one of the most iconic cities in Florida, Miami might have it all, except safety during hurricane season. Its location on the southeastern coast leaves it wide open to storms barreling in from the Atlantic. Miami has been hit hard by numerous hurricanes in the past, and experts warn that the rising intensity of these storms only increases the danger. With millions of people living in low-lying areas and a complex evacuation network, Miami can easily turn into a chaotic disaster zone when the storm clouds start rolling in. The threat of storm surges, widespread flooding, and power outages makes Miami one of the most hurricane-prone cities in the country. Fort Lauderdale. Just up the coast from Miami, Fort Lauderdale faces similar dangers, but the added complication of its intricate canal system means even moderate hurricanes can turn streets into rivers. Storm surges can flood homes in minutes, and the risk of wind damage from flying debris is extremely high. Fort Lauderdale is a popular destination for its beaches and boating lifestyle, but living here during hurricane season can be anything but glamorous. With so much water in and around the city, a major storm could spell disaster for thousands of residents. Naples, don't be fooled by Naples' calm, sunny skies. This Gulf Coast town is on the front lines when hurricanes come calling. Located directly in the path of storms sweeping across the Gulf of Mexico, Naples is no stranger to hurricane devastation. Even though it's considered a retirement haven, hurricanes don't discriminate. During recent storms, Naples has seen homes flooded, power lines knocked out, and communities left in chaos. If you're living in or considering moving to this quiet paradise, you need to be aware of the lurking hurricane threat. Cape Coral. Cape Coral's peaceful waterfront properties may seem like the ideal place to settle down, but its flat terrain and extensive canal system put it in serious danger when a hurricane hits. Storm surges and flooding are real threats to the thousands of homes built near water, and with limited elevation to protect it, Cape Coral is highly susceptible to rising seas during a storm. The combination of wind, water, and flat land can quickly turn this charming town into a disaster zone during hurricane season. Sarasota, a jewel on the Gulf Coast, is a frequent target for hurricanes moving in from the Gulf of Mexico. With its low-lying coastal areas and numerous barrier islands, Sarasota faces the twin threats of devastating storm surges and extreme wind damage. Hurricanes have hit this area hard in the past, and as storms become more intense, Sarasota's residents remain on edge each season. This picturesque town may offer beauty and relaxation most of the year, but when hurricanes approach, it's a whole different story. Tampa has miraculously dodged major hurricanes for several decades, but don't let that fool you. This city is overdue for a massive storm. If a hurricane were to make a direct hit on Tampa Bay, the consequences would be catastrophic. Storm surges could flood much of the city, and its growing population would make evacuation extremely difficult. Experts agree. Tampa is a ticking time bomb for hurricanes, and when the next big one comes, it could be one of the costliest disasters in U.S. history. Panama City is still reeling from the devastation of Hurricane Michael in 2018, which left much of the area in ruins. The city sits on the Gulf Coast and is highly exposed to hurricanes coming in from the warm waters of the Gulf. Despite efforts to rebuild, Panama City remains highly vulnerable to future storms. The region's infrastructure is still recovering, and another major storm could bring it to its knees. Residents here know all too well that hurricane season is a time of constant vigilance. Pensacola may sit near the Florida-Alabama border, but it's not spared from the wrath of hurricanes. With its location on the Gulf of Mexico, it's frequently in the path of storms moving westward. Pensacola has faced the full fury of hurricanes in the past, with destructive winds, storm surges, and widespread flooding causing havoc. The city's proximity to the coast means that even a moderate hurricane can inflict heavy damage. If you live here, don't take any chances when hurricane warnings are issued. This town is far from safe. Jacksonville. Jacksonville might not be the first city that comes to mind when you think of hurricanes, but don't be fooled by its northern location. As one of the largest cities in Florida, Jacksonville is vulnerable to hurricanes that move up the Atlantic coast, especially those that track northward after hitting South Florida. Flooding is a serious concern here, as the city is home to several rivers and low-lying areas that are prone to overflow during heavy rainfall. Jacksonville may not see hurricanes as frequently as cities farther south, but when a storm hits, the impact can be devastating. 5 ways to protect yourself and your family. Create an emergency plan. The first step in protecting your family from a hurricane is to have a solid emergency plan in place. Sit down with your loved ones and discuss what to do if a storm is on the horizon. Know your evacuation routes and make sure every family member understands where to go and how to get there. Identify a safe meeting place in case you get separated, and don't forget to make arrangements for pets, as shelters may not always allow them. A clear, practiced plan can make the difference between life and death when chaos strikes. Prepare a hurricane survival kit. You should never wait until the last minute to gather supplies. Store them early. Your survival kit needs to include enough non-perishable food and water to last each family member at least 3 days. Add flashlights, batteries, a first aid kit, essential medications, and copies of important documents like IDs, insurance policies, and deeds. You'll also want items for personal hygiene and sanitation. It's easy to overlook these things until it's too late, but having them ready can save you hours of panic when the storm hits. Fortify your home. Don't underestimate the power of hurricane winds. Fortifying your home is critical. Start by securing or installing storm shutters to protect your windows from flying debris. Reinforce your garage door, which is often the most vulnerable point in the house. Trim back trees and branches near your home that could fall and cause damage during strong winds. If possible, elevate your electrical systems and appliances to reduce flood damage. Every upgrade you make to secure your home can help minimize destruction and keep your family safe. Stay informed. Knowledge is your best defense. Sign up for weather alerts from your local emergency services and keep a close eye on the news. Hurricanes can shift course quickly, and staying informed allows you to make decisions ahead of time. Know the difference between a hurricane watch and a warning. Watches mean conditions are favorable for a storm, while warnings mean a storm is imminent. Don't wait until the last minute to act. Being aware and ready to move is key to your safety. Evacuate early if necessary. If authorities issue an evacuation order, don't delay. Leave as soon as possible. Roads can become clogged, and gas stations may run out of fuel as more people try to evacuate at once. The earlier you get on the road, the better your chances of escaping both the storm and the chaos. Pack your essentials, including your survival kit, and head to a safe location outside the storm's path. Remember, the best way to protect yourself and your family is to remove yourselves from harm's way before the hurricane strikes. Hurricanes are unpredictable and dangerous, but with the right preparation, you can protect yourself and your loved ones. If you live in any of the towns we mentioned today, make sure you're ready before the next storm strikes. And remember, the time to prepare is now, not when the winds are already howling. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe to our channel for more life-saving tips. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video.